Hi guys, welcome to Making Sawdust. I'm Kevin and thank you for joining me. As you can see, I have an upside down table saw right over there, and that makes 4 table saws that I currently own. 2 are in business, 1 is in the shed, and that's a third one. That is actually a Craftsman 113. It's an 8-inch direct drive saw. It's a tiny little guy, but it's American made, USA, Emerson Electric. This little 8-inch guy, aluminum table. It is circa mid 80s, late 80s, and it is really the grandfather of the modern job site table saw. Found it at the dump. We were dumping some household stuff from out at Grandma's cabin, and I pulled in and we were paying for our weight, and I happened to look over there and I says, "Hey mister, I think I see a table saw over there. I'm a woodworker. Do you mind if I..." And before I even got the words out of my mouth, he's like, "Go ahead." So we brought it home. It's probably not going to live its life as a table saw at all. Like I said, I have a couple of them. Now, I am not a hoarder. I'm an inspirational collector. Now, most of you are saying, what is an inspirational collector? Well, not a hoarder, first of all. Actually, I'm a little inspired when I collect things. Usually the things that I collect will lead to a project. I may not know the exact project that I'm going to build with the item that I collect, but I do find inspiration in what I grab. So, like I said earlier, this is probably not going to live as a table saw. It's missing some stuff. It's not in the greatest condition. It is missing the height adjustment knob and the knob to adjust the miter. The miter does move freely, but I can't get the blade to go up and down. So a little bit later, we're going to look into that. It's a very cheap fence. It's an aluminum table. The actual body footprint of the saw is only 12 inches by 13 inches. Now that it's downstairs, we'll give it a pretty good inspection. Like I said earlier, it does have aluminum tables. Not very sought after, not very straight, not very adjustable either, but it could really come in handy. This really is the predecessor to the modern job site table saw. I have a Skill 3410, which is my second operating table saw downstairs, and the trunnion assembly and the plate direct drive motor is nearly identical. So I don't know if the motor works. We'll look at that in a little bit. Lots of paint on the top. It was used as a mechanic's tool bench too, as evidenced by the grease. If this was my only saw that I had to work with, we'd probably tune it up and I would make it work, but I have another idea for it. Sounds like something's rattling, and I would bet it is probably right there. So we will do this relatively unsafe practice to turn the saw on while we're trying to hold that down and eliminate some of that vibration. Well, so I'm happy the motor runs, and part of being an inspirational collector is processing what we bring home from the dump. Like I said, I don't need another table saw, but I do have a working electric motor that could be very useful for something else. I also have a cast aluminum top with a stamped steel body or sheet metal body. I had a suggestion to use it for a router table. I also have sheet metal legs, which are nice pieces of angle iron. I have some hardware too, so I have decided to take this guy apart, at least take the leg assemblies off first, process that material so it can easily be stored. And I actually have an idea for these shorter pieces of angle iron right here. For some of you guys that are in my generation, erector sets were a thing. And this is actually what I'm thinking about right here. I don't own a welder, so many of the things that are anything metalworking are going to require me to drill holes, tap holes, and use hardware. So some of the hidden treasures in a dumpster score or a dump score is hardware, stamped steel parts, angle iron. Bed frames are actually really popular, and I have a couple bed frames. So as I'm taking this apart and getting my future whatever it is stashed as a yard ornament on this shelf, I'm actually thinking of a slab flattening jig for a router with this leg assemblies I've been taking apart here. Sitting right next to the table saw at the dump was this drill stand. Looks like it's never been used, but it is actually a very unique piece of machinery. What I'm most interested in is actually the gear assembly right here, just the up and down portion. That would be basically a rack and pinion type gear. It is on to change some filters. Tyler was sick all last week, had some stuff going on, so wish him well in the comments, guys. So I have been doing the intern responsibilities of changing filters and whacking filters. The unique thing about this bear, which works really well, I have a 2-inch filter, a one-way airflow filter that I blow out and reuse. But I'll also use just an old fiberglass. I bought these on Amazon. Basically use it for a pre-filter. And you would be surprised how much that knocks down the dust before it ever goes into my thicker paper filter. I've been recording quite a few project videos lately, and I wanted to share those with you in an in-depth and instructional format right here on my YouTube channel. And I will be editing and uploading those full-length versions in the coming weeks and months ahead. But in the meantime, I invite you to come over to my Facebook page, Makin Sawdust, and watch condensed versions. And this is one of my projects. This is a camera gantry. I plan to build a track the full length of my shop. This one is about 5 feet long. What are you doing, Tyler?
Well, I was minding my own business.
I ended the last video with a teaser of my miter saw station, guys. And most of you guys may disagree with me on my choice to move this big old beast Ryobi 12-inch to the left-hand side of my 8-foot-long miter station. And once again, I'm going to leave you with a teaser, but I did move my miter saw. We have a couple unique solutions this week. Right now, Tyler is working on this miter station, and the next video, guys, next week's video, will be showcasing a huge transformation. Don't be surprised if you see a set or 2 or 3 of these drawer slides in my miter saw project, guys. I will leave you with that. We have to make a place for my mini lathe and my mini drill press right there. And we are also going to hook up a very unique dust sucker right down there for the miter station. As always, guys, get out in your shop and start making some sawdust.